So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time.
Well, you're certainly right about that, James. What's up, guys? Welcome to Ohio Films. I'm Jordi Steele, and I'm alone for this one. A few weeks ago, James Gunn revealed the plans for the DCU, and it was 3 weeks ago. We're already 3 weeks behind everyone else. Finger on the pulse, everyone. I just wanted to come on here and give some thoughts on what was announced, what it could mean, how the films could go, and the TV shows, and how they could connect to each other. We also just desperately need some content on this channel. So James started off by talking about the 4 films that are coming out this year. That's Shazam, Flash, Aquaman, and Blue Beetle. Starting with Shazam, Fury of the Gods. They've really swept Shazam under the rug in these past few months. It's about to come out now, and everyone's moved on to The Flash already. Even James Gunn completely ignored it and was like, oh yeah, Shazam takes place far away in its own corner of the DCU, and then quickly moved on to proclaiming The Flash as one of his favourite films that he's seen. And the second trailer has come out recently, and it just looks boring, doesn't it? The second trailer pretty much featured every moment that was in the first trailer, but with a different tone. Like, it was less comedic and more serious, but it was the exact same scenes. And I hope there's a lot more to this than just Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu show up, fight the Shazam family. They want to get the staff and the golden apple of Eden or Eris or whatever. Golden apple of Eris just reminds me of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And then they get the golden apple because we see Lucy Liu plant it in the stadium in the trailer, and then it leads to Billy fighting the dragon alone, blah 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 blah. I'll see it probably. I mean, I saw Black Adam and I wasn't looking forward to that at all, but I hope it's good. I mean, I didn't love Shazam. I thought it was one of the better DCU films, mostly because it did sort of keep itself away and just was a solid superhero film. But this just looks not as fun as the last one. I don't know, it just looks a bit bland, especially compared to the next film. So The Flash, directed by Andy Muschietti, who obviously did It Chapter 1 and 2 and Mama, and this is obviously a very similar film in tone. It looks quite fun, doesn't it? Like, the last trailer, the first trailer came out, and it looks quite good. I don't expect it to be amazing and like great like storytelling and one of the best films ever. I just think that it's going to be a very fun comic book film, and that's the mindset I'm going in. I want it to just be comic book over-the-top action, and it looks like it could be a fun sort of reflection on the DCU before it goes. You got Ben Affleck Batman, you got Michael Keaton Batman. Could he be Thomas Wayne? I know he's probably not. I know he's probably Bruce Wayne, but the Flash is obviously inspired by the Flashpoint storyline, and that involved Thomas Wayne being Batman and not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne having been killed by whoever it was in Crime Alley. And it has a really nice moment at the end where the Flash brings back to the normal universe, the normal timeline, a letter from Thomas Wayne to Bruce Wayne. I feel like that could be a very nice moment on screen, and it was a really nice moment in the comics and in the animated film, and I think it would be nice to see Ben Affleck do that. But if it's Bruce Wayne, Michael Keaton, they can't do that, really. But, you know, it's a shame. Also, controversial opinion, I would have rather had Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Thomas Wayne Batman than Michael Keaton Batman. So, We also got our first look as Sasha Calle as Kara Zor-El. She's in place of Superman that in the Flashpoint storyline, in which when he fell to Earth, when he landed on Earth, he was immediately like taken in by the government and kept in a lab, and that seems like that's what's happened to Kara Zor-El. Michael Shannon is back as Zod, and it looks like without metahumans, this world has sort of been taken over by Zod and the Kryptonians, and their plan in Man of Steel, without Superman to stop them, went through, and they might be like the leading authority in this world. I do wonder if they're going to bring in the Atlanteans and the Amazons, because in the comics and in the animated film, the whole story is sort of told to the backdrop of this world-ravaging war between the Atlanteans and the Amazons, so that would be interesting to see. Don't think they will, because we haven't heard much from Jason Momoa being in this film and Gal Gadot being in this film, unless it's like in a cameo sense. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they show that Zod winning affected all of the DCU, and I think we might get recreation of moments. We might see Lex Luthor. Who knows? Honestly, who knows? Prediction, Barry 2's Reverse Flash. Just because, you know, why would Barry 2 want this timeline to be erased if it's his timeline and he wants his mum to survive? Or maybe the mum dies anyway. And the mum's just like, I die anyway, better change it back. But yeah, I can totally see Barry 2 becoming evil and them having a fight. So the Flash then resets the DCU, so spoiler, the Flash wins, and we go into Blue Beetle. James sort of really quickly passes over it, but it's a story about a young man who finds an alien scarab that gives him a power suit of powerful armor, and that's really all we know about it. It is the Jamie Reyes version of the character, which I think is like the second or third version of the character. Definitely the newer and I think more popular version of the character. He's going to be played by Zolo Maraduena. Sorry if that's not how you pronounce the name. Susan Sarandon is playing Victoria Cord, who's I think the sister of Ted Cord, who is the original Blue Beetle. Will he be in it? Will we see him die and that's why the Beetle goes to Jamie Reyes? Could we see Booster Gold, since Booster Gold and Ted Cord are like best friends and it's blue and gold? I'd quite like to see that, especially with Booster Gold getting his own series down the line. Then really quickly get a mention of Aquaman 2. He just says, oh, we got Aquaman 2, and then it leads on to the next film. So who knows what's happening in this? This is the film that they've got to probably do reshoots of to sort of transition into the new DCU. There's been so many rumors of different cameos, and Ben Affleck was appearing in it, then Michael Keaton was appearing in it. I think Gal Gadot was rumored to be appearing in it, and then the rumors were that no one was appearing in it. So yeah, I think the rumor that they did a test screening with no one in it was so that they could then see if it works without anyone from the DCU and then add in new characters from the DCU. And now begins the new films 2025, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And it's not even the entire thing, so we don't know what it's leading up to. The final project that was announced isn't like the big ending. We're starting with Creature Commandos, which is an animated series. James has said he's written all of it, and it's based on a team that is in World War II, and it's sort of like it's classic monsters almost in a World War II team. I think it's for the Weird War Tales series of comics from the 90s or the 80s. What he mentioned with the animated shows that they're doing is that all the actors will retain their roles, so you will see characters in animated shows become live action played by their voice actors, and vice versa. You'll see characters from live action be voiced by their actors. The picture that they showed of what I assume is the team is Rick Flag Sr., Nina Mazursky, Dr. Phosphorus, Eric Frankenstein, G.I. Robot, and Weasel, with the Bride of Frankenstein being the lead character. Weasel's back, so I don't know if this is set before or after. Maybe this is another form of the Suicide Squad, because supposedly Amanda Waller is in charge of this team. Who knows? We'll see. It's very interesting. It's appropriately James Gunn of, oh, these are weird characters, let's just throw him in. Speaking of Amanda Waller, we then have Waller, which is helmed by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created Doom Patrol. It's set to bridge season 1 and 2 of Peacemaker, with Team Peacemaker appearing and joining Waller. Peacemaker season 1 ended with Task Force X being leaked to the press and Amanda Waller's sort of role in everything being made public. So maybe she gets arrested, maybe Peacemaker helps her out, who knows, maybe she just stays in power because everyone's like, yeah, alright, that's good. It will be like the Few Good Men argument where Jack Nicholson's like, you need men like me on the wall, and then a twist on that where everyone's just like, yeah, we do. Yeah, the world's got super villains and bad things happen. We need this. We need this to happen. Maybe Bloodsport will appear. Maybe Mr. Terrific will appear. We got a tease of that, I think, on Twitter with James Gunn tweeting a picture of Mr. Terrific. I wonder how Black Adam will affect it, if at all, if we're not just completely ignoring that, which I hope we do. We then have the first film, Superman Legacy. It's a younger Superman, it's not an origin story. A quick shout out to Nando vs. Movies. He did a really great pitch on a Superman film, which is based on the Superman versus the Elite storyline. I think that's probably what they'll do, because it is a great story of Superman learning what his true nature is and why he doesn't kill and what he is on this planet for. I think they might replace the elite with what will become the authority. His moral dilemma will be, should I take the law into my own hands and help people, but inspire other powered people to do the same, but risk them being more dangerous? And then the actual lesson is he is there to inspire people without power to step up and be better people. I hope Lex Luthor is in it, and I hope he's a good guy. I really want Lex Luthor to be a good guy for and a friend to Superman and everyone else for the first chapter, and then he becomes president, and then he just turns. I think that would be brilliant. And that's supposedly coming out on July 11th, 2025, apparently. We then have a live-action HBO series, Lanterns, which has been described as True Detective style with space cops, but it's terrestrial, so it will be on Earth, and it features Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, two of the most popular Green Lanterns. Maybe Kyle Rayner and Guy Gardner and all those will appear. We know there will be more lanterns sprinkled in, as James Gunn said, but who knows? I'm hoping for Larfleeze. Then we have the Authority film. I think by the end of Superman, if the Authority are the team that he is fighting, the Authority will be defeated but then given to Amanda Waller, and they will be under Amanda Waller's control in this film. And the Authority is who Amanda Waller sees herself as. This is her new Suicide Squad. They are the Authority. You'll probably have Jenny Sparks, probably Manchester Black, because he's not in the original Wildstorm Authority, but in the newer Superman and the Authority comics that they've done, he is in the Authority. I can't wait for them. I can't wait to see who they cast as Apollo and Midnighter. I hope they are a big part of the story, and their relationship is a big part of the story. I would love just an Apollo and Midnighter spin-off series, honestly. The 1999 run was named as an inspiration, and probably more so the Warren Ellis run. There's an infamous moment after Mark Miller sort of took over writing in issue 16, and it got quite gritty and edgy, almost for no reason. It was just there to be oh, we're more gritty than superheroes, than Marvel and DC. So I don't know if we'll see any moments with a jackhammer. Then we have Paradise Lost, which is a Game of Thrones style show set on Themyscira or Paradise Island or the Amazon Isles, and it will obviously be set around the Amazons. It will be years, I think hundreds of years prior to Diana being born, so no Wonder Woman, but it will probably be Greek mythology based action and politics, so gimme, I'm gonna eat all that up. Even though it's set well before Wonder Woman, the Amazons live for quite a long time, so could we see Robin Wright or Connie Nielsen return in their role if they're retaining their roles from the DCU? I wonder, it's probably going to be about a group of ancient sort of male soldiers wash up on Themyscira, and on Paradise Island, basically, if all men, if they step foot on Themyscira, they are subject to the death penalty. But if there's a lot of men and they have weapons and the power to sort of stand on their own, who knows what will happen. We then have probably the second most important project that was announced, which is The Brave and the Bold. We're going to get a new Batman. We might even get a new Joker, honestly. We'll probably get new Robins, obviously. The Bat family is already established, which is lovely. Thank you, James. It's been enough time to have all the Robins be on screen. Just put them all on screen already. It will be primarily inspired by the Batman and Son storyline from Grant Morrison and Andy Kubert's run on Batman. It will obviously feature Batman, Bruce Wayne, learning that he has a son with Talia al Ghul, Damian Wayne. We'll probably see Dick Grayson appear. It will be interesting to see how they adapt the Batman and Son storyline, or if they'll go more Son of Batman from the DC animated film, which I really loved. And in the animated film, basically, Talia al Ghul gives Bruce Damian to protect him from Deathstroke, who basically attacked the League of Assassins and killed Ra's al Ghul. And I think it would be good to adapt more of that storyline, because we could have Slade Wilson come in, have Joe Manganiello, have Joe finally play Deathstroke in a film, and basically Damian wants revenge, and it's up to Batman to go, no killing. However, I do hope that this is maybe a few years removed from a death of the family style event in which Jason Todd as Robin was murdered by the Joker. I do think it will be interesting to see Bruce struggle to take in Damian, not only as his son, but especially as Robin after his last one perished. Sorry, Tim Drake, I know you're loved by lots of people and you are a very cool Robin, but for storytelling purposes, I think it works better if he doesn't exist. It's not going to happen. Obviously, we're going to have Tim Drake in it, but I think if we just have him off on his own adventures, I would quite like to see Dick Grayson be like almost a big brother to Damian Wayne, be like, alright, Bruce is sort of socially catatonic because he just doesn't want to see another one of his children out on the streets, so I'll take you out, you can be my sidekick. And Damian Wayne's like, I'm gonna kill everyone, and Dick's like, no, please don't. I do also think that way they can tie in, maybe Ra's al Ghul isn't dead because of the Lazarus Pit, maybe Slade Wilson is harder to defeat for Batman because he has access to the Lazarus Pit, and that introduces the Lazarus Pit, and that introduces, maybe we could have at the end in like a post-credit scene, go back to the fortress of the League of Shadows, go deep into the prisons where we find a man locked up. Who could it be? It's Jason Todd setting up an Under the Red Hood sequel, because everyone wants that. Everyone wants that film in live action. Then we have a Booster Gold series. Booster Gold is basically a guy from the future who takes he's a loser, so he steals a bunch of technology, comes back into the past and uses that technology to become a superhero and be liked by everyone. I've seen some fan casting that I like Glenn Powell. Chris Pratt, I think, his name's been floated around. I don't know about that, but just because of his relationship with James Gunn, who knows? Maybe Joe McHale? Probably not, but that's the sort of character that we're going for. Then we have Supergirl Women of Tomorrow, based on the Tom King and Bilquis Evely comic from last year, so very recent. It's basically True Grit, but in space, and with Kara Zor-El as the gruff ranger that doesn't really, he's retired and he doesn't want to do anything, and then she is called upon by this young girl who her dad was murdered, and basically her whole world was destroyed by these bad guys, and they're still out there, and it's up to Kara, this girl, and Crypto to bring these guys to justice. It's more James Gunn in space, so yum if he is directing and writing this one. Could Sasha Calle return as Kara Zor-El from The Flash? It's dependent, I guess, upon her reception of The Flash. I think in this story, the bad guy basically hires a bunch of mercenaries, so could we see Lobo in this story? Or will he appear in Lanterns or the Superman film? The final project will be Swamp Thing, based on Absolute Swamp Thing by Alan Moore, because obviously that's what you do, and it was described by James Gunn as a dark horror story, which is appropriate. This is what you do with Swamp Thing. I do wonder if instead of just having a cop look for him, you bring in either Constantine, you have Zatanna, maybe Jason Blood, more Justice League dark characters come in. I think Absolute Swamp Thing is the storyline where Swamp Thing just becomes a god, and I think he takes over Gotham and beats up Batman. So maybe we'll see Batman. And that's it. Again, we don't have like a final project that everything's leading to. This is only the first half, maybe first half, quarter, 3/4 of chapter 1. Maybe they're waiting till later for the story to sort of reveal itself. He did say in Lanterns that they're going to unveil a secret that is part of the overarching story of the first chapter. So maybe they're waiting before they reveal either a Justice League film, because they've got to do a Justice League film eventually, or maybe they call it Justice Society of America to be like edgy, or Justice League International. We've also got Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2, Joker 2, because I don't know if I'm pronouncing the French bit right, as well as maybe Constantine 2. That's been rumored to be cancelled and going and cancelled and going like a lot over the past 2 weeks alone, so who knows if that's coming out. I'd love to see Keanu Reeves as Constantine. It won't be part of the DCU, it will be Elseworlds, but I'd love that. But what do you think of Peter Safran and James Gunn's plan for the DCU so far? You can tell us below or on Twitter at RealJordySteele or at OhiFilms. What do you personally want from this new go at the DC universe? What titles do you want to see? Who do you want to see, and who do you want to see play them? But for more videos, hopefully like this, where I just sit and ramble at a camera for half an hour, because that's what I do, please subscribe and like this video to let us know you want more. And that's about it. I will see you later.